In Genesis 14, an anomaly intrudes into the historical record. A king appears from the desert, entirely unannounced, to bless Abraham. He possesses no recorded ancestry, no documented birth, and no account of his death. This brief, isolated cameo does not fade into the background of the Old Testament. Instead, the author of the book of Hebrews uses this exact figure as the ultimate blueprint for the entire Christian priesthood. We call this the Melchizedek paradox. When the standard theological models used to explain his identity are tested against strict textual analysis, they consistently break down. Our methodology runs two distinct data streams, the textual constraints of Hebrews 7 and comparative linguistics, converging them onto a single node. By testing historical theories against the text and applying a linguistic tuning fork, we can identify his specific identity. Understanding Melchizedek is a matter of reverse engineering the specific theological and linguistic constraints found in the text. This analytical matrix tests the historical hypotheses against Hebrews 7. Column 1, the Shem hypothesis, posits Noah's son survived. This fails because Melchizedek has no recorded genealogy. Column 2, the angelic hypothesis, breaks the core constraint that Christ's priesthood is strictly superior to standard angels. Any theory attempting to fit this priest-king into standard human history or normal angelic hierarchies contradicts the explicit rules set by the biblical author. That leaves us with the third column, Christophany, or the pre-incarnate Christ model. This framework suggests Melchizedek was a temporary physical manifestation of the divine Son, stepping into history to wear the office of a priest long before taking on human flesh at Bethlehem. The text anchors this theory on a specific Greek modifier, aphomoiomenos. As it breaks apart, its strict translation, made into the likeness of, is revealed. This points to an uncreated entity stepping down into physical form to establish an eternal structural pattern. The Christophany hypothesis is the only model that survives the Hebrews 7 matrix. The text demands we view Melchizedek as a cosmic archetype. The theology points to a cosmic identity, but comparative linguistics provides the independent verification. The evidence resides in the internal mechanics of the name itself. This linguistic tree maps the MLK sequence. On the left, the Semitic root MLK branches into Malki, or my king, governing all concepts of sovereign rulership. On the right, phonetic drift maps to the Proto-Indo-European root melg, meaning to stroke or to milk. This exposes a deep anthropological link. In ancient tribal structures, the primary biological nourisher, the distributor of essential resources, naturally evolved into the societal ruler. This pastoral evolution of milk contrasts with the rigid PIE root for standard rulership, reg, meaning to move in a straight line or to guide. Ancient human psychology intrinsically bound the concept of sovereign, structural rulership directly to the intimate, life-sustaining act of nourishment. We find a similar depth in the second half of the compound linguistic formula, the triliteral root zdk. The Semitic root zdk branches out to mean straight and righteous. Mirroring this, its exact conceptual twin, the PIE root dek, translates as fitting, proper, and right. Following the etymology forward, dek evolves into Greek Dike for justice and Latin rectus for straight. Across entirely separate and independent language families, ancient human beings consistently visualized the concept of abstract moral justice as perfect geometric straightness. The ZDK root expresses a universal linguistic recognition of absolute, structural, cosmic order. When we lock these two isolated linguistic blocks back together, MLK and ZDK join to form Melchizedek, creating a conceptual resonance wave. Together, they yield a complete ancient linguistic formula, the standard, or ruler, of what is fitting and perfectly straight. We can now overlay this synthesized meaning back onto the surviving Christophany model from our initial matrix. The etymology acts as an independent verification dataset. It proves that this specific name bridges the deepest concepts of Semitic sovereignty with the universal Indo-European concept of structural justice. Melchizedek's historical identity remains obscured because his very name was engineered to represent a pre-incarnate universal manifestation. It is an uncreated priesthood designed to resonate across all human understanding.